we're in a sovereign debt crisis, let's face it. And that started really with the war in the Ukraine. It was when the real interest rate started to diverge from the price of the sovereign, of the assets that are sound money, gold and Bitcoin. And since that time, gold and Bitcoin performance has just crushed, bonds and sovereign debt. Gold was the best form of sound money until Bitcoin came along. Bitcoin's a much better form of sound money today. What's going on in gold today specifically, as you probably noticed, we're recording this on the 31st of January, is that it just broke out to a new all-time high of $2,800. And some people are attributing, I've been watching and reading some of the stuff online, watched a few pods, and some people are saying, well, this is just because of the Trump tariffs, and he's probably going to place tariffs on gold produced overseas. I don't think that's it. I think it's, one, I'm not sure he's going to do that. We'll find out. But two, I think it's more likely that just what's going on is there are actually more and more, and this is a chart I saw that was rather compelling. There are more and more people asking for physical delivery of their gold. And why do people do that? Well, because they don't necessarily trust the custodians of the gold, and that's always been the issue with gold. They don't trust the system. And those of us who've been in the gold world for a very long time know that they have created a much larger number of paper claims, in our opinion, than they have underlying ounces of gold. So this is the gold market, very much like the banking market. If people are familiar with banking, they understand fractional reserve lending, which is to say that a bank can lend out more than it has in deposits, because not everyone comes and asks for their deposit back at the same time. And that's how the money supply grows. That's the money multiplier. Well, that actually started way back when with goldsmiths in Europe in the Middle Ages. But it's continued to this day, where I think there are more paper receipts for gold than there are underlying ounces. The amount of that is up for debate, but it could be anywhere between 10 claims for every 1 ounce, 100 claims for every 1 ounce. So, what I see going on, what we can see in the data, is that there are big entities actually asking and saying, well, yeah, that's right. I know you say you're holding gold for me and I've got a paper claim for it. Why don't you send it to me? Why don't you actually give me the gold and I'll store it myself in my safe or my own depository? That started to really increase, which to me indicates that people are starting to say, hey, hang on a second. Maybe I don't trust these people who say they're holding my gold. And I, many of us, even Kaiser, before he started in Bitcoin, always thought that was the Achilles heel of the precious metals market. They'd manipulated it with paper, but if every paper holder said, please give me the physical, there wouldn't be enough physical to go around. And so I think that's what's driving, the breakout in gold right now, not necessarily the threat of Trump tariffs. Also that, and just the general move toward sound money post Trump. And then let's go there and talk crypto and, all that kind of stuff and the strategic reserve and so forth. It's an interesting situation that we've all got to deal with here. Crypto, Trump got elected for a lot of different reasons, but frankly, he got helped by the Bitcoin people and the crypto people. And somewhere along the line, when he wasn't sure if he was going to win, and I saw him speak last summer, and I saw RFK speak last summer at the conference, he realized that, hey, this is a libertarian constituency that would be amenable to my message if I would support them. So he agreed to pardon Ross, which he lived up to that commitment. And he said, I think I support Bitcoin. And he widened it out to say, not only do I support Bitcoin, but I support crypto as well. And, there, as we all know, there are two camps here. And there are hardcore maxis who hate actually everything that's crypto. There are people who are, hardcore crypto and don't really believe in Bitcoin, they think, and so forth. But, and I personally think a lot of the crypto world is fraudulent and shitcoins and not worth the time of day and has done a lot to damage our cause. But let's face it, there are a lot of people in that area. Many of them made big donations, political donations to Trump. Many of them got people to vote for Trump. And so I think they feel, based on all of that they should have a seat at the table in, the Bitcoin crypto policy of the Trump administration. And I understand that. And I recognize that having them with those votes and that money is part of how we got to where we are. So even though I don't believe in shitcoinery and I don't believe in pump and dumps and I don't believe in, Trump coin and Melania coin, I do accept the possibility that there are a few crypto projects that are worthwhile and not fraudulent. As Saylor says, Saylor will accept crypto to the extent that it's done ethically, that it's not a pump and dump. And I have to agree. I mean, I think there's some possibility that a layer 2 will emerge out of something other than Lightning. I mean, Lightning has not developed quite as quickly and as well as I would have hoped. And so I maintain an open mind for the possibility that there will be some valuable ethical crypto parts of crypto things that fit nicely with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is the secure base layer of sound money. And then maybe there'll be another layer above it, like Lightning, that helps you do transactions. So when they announced the strategic crypto reserve, that obviously implied that it was not just Bitcoin, it was more than that. And then, this fraudulent bad guy who runs XRP said, hey, Brad, we're going to be in there too, and XRP should be a part of this whole thing, et cetera, et cetera. And XRP is really kind of the worst of crypto. I mean, this guy was anti-Bitcoin, anti-sound money. It's crypto controlled by the banks. It's crypto controlled by the insiders. And so obviously a lot of us who are Bitcoiners and believe in the message of Bitcoin, the fairness of Bitcoin, the sound money of Bitcoin, we're kind of pissed off that this guy's even in the room, But what he's saying is, hey, look, I played a role here too, gave a ton of money, got a ton of voters, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think probably as a result of that, Trump can't just, thumb his nose at him entirely. And I think over time, what we've got to do is we've got to educate Trump that, that Bitcoin is the real deal and that crypto is not. And so I think that process is, I'm sure we're in the process of doing that. The people who are close to him. I mean, I think, Kennedy gets it, Vivek gets it, Caitlin Long gets it, and there will be, he will listen to a lot of people, and his views, and I think his views will evolve. My guess is he's a smart guy. His views will evolve so that he sees it very similar to how we see it. But for the meantime, we've got all this noise around crypto and XRP, which kind of sucks.
It does. And to that point, I mean, JD Vance seems like he gets it. I mean, shoot, his son, Eric Trump, seems like he gets it. I mean, that talk he gave when you guys in the Middle East I was blown away. I was like, whoa, he sounds like one of us.
Yeah. No, look, there's a lot, Manafort gets it. There's a lot of positive. I mean,
we wanted the war to end tomorrow, Larry. That's the problem. We wanted the war to be done and over with, and that's it. All right, time to go home, boys.
Absolutely. And I can't tell you, look, I have nothing but the best wishes for President Trump. I really hope he's successful in a lot of the things he's trying to do. But God damn it, why did he do Trump coin and Melania coin? It's just like, oh, come on, man. What are you doing?
It was a payoff for Sachs and the boys, right? I mean, to me, like it was a payoff to the donors.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's both.
I don't know why.
I think it's both. Trump loves to put his name on things, right? Like Trump has to put his name on stuff, right? And then it was a payoff.
Yeah, as I said to a friend last night, a friend was like, well, yeah, but he sells Trump jerseys and he sells Trump knives, he sells Trump. And I'm like, that's okay. I mean, you sell me a jersey that has Trump on it, at least I'm paying some money, I'm getting a jersey. You sell me a knife,
yeah, exactly.
I'm getting the real thing. The problem with Trump coin is he's just selling you a dream. I've heard that they sold some and took some money out of the thing. And, as you and I both know, that's a fake dream. I mean, it's not going to pay off for you. It's going to be a shit coin. It's going to go to zero. So that's just very disappointing, very disappointing. But, look, with politicians, as in many things in life, you take the good with the bad. I mean, there's no doubt that the red team is a whole lot better for crypto than the blue team, and Bitcoin, I should say. I shouldn't even use the word crypto because I really don't like that word. So
beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, right? Like a year ago, it's a whole different story we're talking, and it's like we're getting,
Well, that's right. I mean, who would have thought? Isn't it stunning that we went to the conference this summer and we saw two major presidential candidates, Trump and RFK, until he joined forces with him, give enormous good speeches, especially RFK's. RFK's speech was just outstanding. People should Google and listen to that on, the role of Bitcoin, in the economy. I mean, it's so positive that we've got people at that level thinking this through. And Scott Bessent, the new Treasury Secretary, I mean, how different is he than Janet Yellen, right? I mean, Yellen hates gold. Yellen was a total Keynesian. I mean, she's just the worst. And, Bessent loves gold. Bessent understands sound money. Bessent understands financial history. He said gold was his largest holding, and he's Bitcoin positive. So, and he's also said that, hey, we may need something a la Bretton Woods where we do some kind of a reset. And if we do, I want to be at the table. Well, what that all tells me in code is that, we're kind of setting up for some stuff that's going to be extremely positive for sound money assets, Bitcoin and gold, extremely positive. So I'm quite encouraged by, on balance, I'm quite encouraged by everything I see out of the administration.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's, Bitcoiners, we have to hold true to our ethos, and it's all roads lead to Bitcoin anyway, right? Like this, we wanted the fight to be over tomorrow. All roads lead there. We know that it's the Trojan horse. And I think that's, like you said, we have to take the good with the bad, and that's it, but it all does funnel there. And all you have to do is look at what are our enemies doing. Like, you don't see Putin buying XRP or Ethereum, or like, you don't see those things happening, right? Like, watch people's actions, not their words. And I think that should give people sound money, good, the freedom fighters, that should give you the hope and sleep easy at night.
It does. I mean, look, we here's the great news. I mean, we really are winning. I mean, it's just getting overwhelmingly obvious that we're winning, and so we're about to enter that really steep part of the slope of the curve, which is why it's extremely hard to predict where we're going. I mean, whether it's 200 or a million. I mean, it's somewhere in that range, but we're going higher. I mean, a lot higher. So, and I'm here for it. I mean, it works for me. I mean, but I'm also here because, it's not just number go up. I mean, I'm here for Bitcoin defunding the governments and, maybe, ending the wars and so much other bad stuff that these large sclerotic governments have done. And they've done just so much bad stuff. And, it's so refreshing to see the younger generation understand that and recognize that this is the solution, that Bitcoin is the solution to these problems.
Absolutely. In saying that, we want to go back really quick to the gold thing. Do you have a ratio? Is there a Lepard model where because you've always said gold moves first and snuffs things out, and then Bitcoin rips, after that, and Bitcoin really is the mover, right? So
if you want the answer to that question right there, and you like that spicy clip, check it out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. But if you want the full interview in its entirety, all the spicy clips put together, and you're not going to want to miss it, believe me, then check that out here. Go on, we'll see you in there. Do it.